go into the unknown that is both scary as most anything we can identify, no matter how much market research we may perform ahead of time. Because we know deep down inside that somehow the path to the unknown also reveals our future embodiment of mission. Well, each of the institutions I've named in its own way, Colorado Christian University, Denver Seminary, University of Denver, Colorado College, Regis University, and the Iliff School of Theology, each one of them is wrestling with this significant challenge as we seek to serve and be effective assets in the community. And each of us has different, if you will, evidence to show of our journey. Ours, we're finding, includes some quite powerful metrics. Enrollments, for example, at Iliff, that for the last 3 years in a row have topped the previous year, and all three have trumped the entire 20th century. We're dealing with the highest enrollments in the history of our institution. We're dealing with stronger financial condition, even in this market. We're dealing with reputational integrity and public appreciation as an asset, far beyond just this immediate region. And we're really pleased, as we joked last year when we won some awards from the Regional American Marketing Association, that in 3 years we won 10 awards from them. And this is competition against organizations that actually have marketing budgets. It's pretty fun. We're telling our story in a compelling way. Regis is telling its story in a compelling way. University of Denver is engaging the public. And the point of this is to help us all find a pattern, a matrix of meaning and purpose where education can actually serve the practical needs of the public constituents that we serve. Our work, for example, in post-traumatic stress disorder, which is something we've only started in the last 2 years, has gotten the attention of New York Times and other media sources as being groundbreaking. And we're realizing that this is something that's indeed in a wide variety of places, and we're just now starting a project for the entire Roaring Fork Valley between Glenwood and Aspen, where you may know is the highest incidence of suicide in unattended question in the state of Colorado. Wouldn't necessarily have thought that, but that is the case. Working with business organizations, where a group of business executives said to me a few years ago when we got into Iliff, what is missing in the business organization that at a school like Iliff could help them engage is the spirit of connectedness. We unpacked what that means. We're developing a multi-day seminar to help them do that. Our schools, not just Iliff, but the schools I'm talking about, believe that the only things that don't change are dead. And yet, if we even sniff a little bit, we realize that what is dead decomposes, and that's actually a change of its own. But we've chosen not to decompose. We've decided to move forward to be a front-of-mind resource for this region. To that end, I just want to call your attention to something that Darlene Mass said she would put at the tables, and it's something that looks like a bookmark. About 2 years after I arrived at Iliff, we brought to Denver a group of former high school students who in 1957 had desegregated Little Rock, Arkansas Central High School and Little Rock 9. It was a profoundly moving experience both for the school and the wider community. We had them in public schools talking to students about the importance of courage as an everyday thing, not something that only trophy figures can do. Walking ahead when you cannot see the path lying in front of you is courageous. We have decided that as a school we are going to continue that tradition. And so we have just begun the process and will launch on November 1 the continuation of what began at Little Rock 9, something that we hope to be annual called the Iliff Courage Award, which will be an asset and service to the community, helping us all see that courage and hope can be profound in any context, whether home, school, work, or civic association. We will be commemorating on November 1 a person who has, in the face of the murder of her son, begun a public testimony about the importance of speaking against hatred and bullying. It is Judy Shepard. We invite you to come, and there's a hold-the-date card on your table. It is essential that we, our schools, help spur the wider public community in ways where hope and courage will trump fear and hatred. That's a core part of the mission of a spiritually grounded higher education in this region. As the last comment, what Regis and Iliff, for example, have learned, and what I suspect some of the other schools that I've talked to you about have wrestled with, but I don't know as well, is that we have been and remain true assets to the community, but sometimes the community hasn't seen us as that because the community puts us into a small box rather than sees us for who we are and what we actually do. So our role is to help communicate that better, which is one reason I'm delighted that everybody else had to have a vacation this month, and I'm able to be here with you today. But we have to help all of us, whether you're going to engage in our institution, whether you're going to invest financially in our institution, whether you're going to show up at events that we're part of. We need to help all of us see that a culture of creative emergence is the wellspring from which courage over against a failure of nerve and a capacity to develop tools that people can use to find a sustainable future is essential in all areas of our common life, not just education, not just religion. And that is what will help all of our residents in this state and region flourish. And that's actually a connection with something that goes on around the world and has for millennia. I have 10 seconds for any question or comment, if you have any. But I thank you very much.
Thank you, David, and we actually have probably a couple of minutes for questions. So any questions for David, please?
Well, not a question, but just a comment of appreciation for the wonderful billboard. Not a question, but just appreciation for the wonderful billboards that actually do create a feeling about seminary. Captivating. Visiting public.
Thank you. That is part of our public awareness campaign. I'm glad you noticed. Some of you have. We have fun with choosing these each year. The first year we did it, we ended up in only 8 weeks of a campaign. It was only in Denver, not even the whole Front Range, having something like 25 to 30,000 inquiries from about 25 countries. So it's really good to have a micro website on the bottom. And we had fun choosing them. So here's one we didn't choose, and then I'll sit down. Envision a meteorite hurtling toward planet Earth. There was a film to this effect a few years ago. This would have timed with that. The caption reads, "Some people say the Earth will end in 2012. Underneath in big letters, enroll now. We didn't choose
Are there, there's a question, Jim Woodward. Get the mic back to Jim. Thank you.
I want to tell you how many years I've gone to your physics, astronomy lectures, which are ever unlike. They cover all fields. Everyone who wants to go there walks in and gets in that marvelous amphitheater. And it is always on that light. And it covers every subject that I can imagine. History, physics,